Well, hello. Good evening, all. Can you hear me? Can you see me okay? Is the sound all right this week? Hey, Verna, good to see you. We got Mr. Landfill. Hey, Phil. Tigress Valley, shalom. Good to see you. Thank you guys for showing up to my stream. All is well. Cool. Oh, 5x5. Awesome. It is well with my soul. There we go. Well, hello, everyone, and happy Father's Day weekend if you're a father. My name is Matt here with the Grafted Branch Homestead. If you know who I am, welcome back. If you're watching later and don't, my name's Matt here, and we're on our very urban homestead, a little under a quarter acre, where we're trying to learn things and do the things now, and develop skills and practices and habits, hopefully to progress that along later in life. Bless Father's Day, Verna saying yes. 5x5. It's good to see everyone in here. Looks like a couple people in here. We may have lost a couple. That's okay. I don't have a whole lot I wanted to talk about tonight. I guess kind of as usual. Saturday nights are becoming more of just my kind of catch-all free talk live stream. I like to open for any questions and answers. To be 100% honest with you, though, I do have some intestinal issues, and those are not being kind tonight. So we're probably not going to be on too late. Yeah, you and Phil. Well, we got the good people in here. Well, thank you guys. So I just had a couple little things I wanted to show, a little bit about what we're doing. Probably not going to be on more than half an hour this evening, and then we'll be back in the morning. I know it's pretty late where you guys are at too, but let's see. Let me go ahead and just show a little bit what's going on. So right now it smells wonderful in here. I'm not going to pan because you'll see the whole room, but there's dry herbs and all kinds of things hanging up all over in here drying. And so we're still on track with grafted teas coming out in July here. And so we've been doing it slowly with finances, and then Farmer Casey's Garden Teas, we'll be doing that, of course, as we harvest stuff here on the homestead. So this is just a short little clip. I had to change the audio because it was from my wife's TikTok, from our TikTok there. And I keep getting copyright flagged for everything. I probably will for the music I put in too, but that's okay. It is a blessing to have them dry. I think so. I really do. So I used to, even when I first started gardening, of course I saw the point and the value in having a vegetable garden. I didn't see as much in the herb garden, but those are really starting to take over the garden, and I'm seeing a whole lot more value in them. I'm just going to show this little short one we have. Awesome. So I hope you enjoyed that. So my wife heads up our TikTok and Instagram and all that good stuff. And so she's she's been doing lots of good things. I think she had the yarrow there is what you saw. And so Verna was saying, congratulations on 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, thank you. Well, that's awesome. And that's all of you guys. So I greatly appreciate it. I absolutely never thought I'd be here, to be honest. I never thought this many people would listen to me or anything like that. So it's awesome. You guys rock. It's to you. With that said, that did come a lot quicker than I thought. So I wanted to do 1,000 subscribers stream and do some giveaways and things like that. It did come quicker than I thought. And I know with my subscribers, at least, I gain a bunch and then I'll lose a bunch and I go back and forth. So it won't be obviously at 1,000 subscribers. That's awesome. But shortly here, probably in about a month, I'm going to do my 1,000 subscriber, my 1K show. And we'll also be doing that in conjunction with really launching the website and some of our products and things. And so we'll do giveaways of grafted teas and Casey's Garden teas and herbs and things like that. So I have that being planned. So, and watch hours, I have about 2,500. So I'm not going to get monetized anytime soon. I still need 1,500 watch hours. I really need to get on making videos and doing more. Life is crazy. And I wish YouTube was a full-time job in homesteading, but it's not right now. So I'm just happy with what I got. So we'll get there on the watch hours. But thanks, Vern. I appreciate that. So you guys stay tuned and look for that. I'll try and post more posts or whatever that's coming up. And I've been doing a little bit on our Facebook page too. So if you haven't checked us out, Grafted Ranch Homestead on Facebook, I haven't had a lot to do with Facebook in a long time. So doing a little bit there. I actually find that kind of neat because I've found some more local like-minded people through there too. So that's been awesome. But I'll be advertising through there and stuff. Coming on July 1st, you only need 3,000 watch hours and 600 subscribers. Really? I didn't know that. Okay. Well, that's awesome. Well, then I hit it a long time ago, I guess, with subscribers. They keep changing it around. I'm not sure. Of course, I would like the channel to get big so I can reach more people and talk about things, that I want to talk about, encourage people, and learn a lot. And so that would be cool. And then, of course, I want to take, when I do get monetized, that and do some giveaways, some things that will hopefully help people out. 500. Oh, wow. Okay. So they cut that in half. Well, right when I hit 1,000, they cut it in half. That makes sense. That's life, huh? That's funny. It's been a slow process on here, but that is kind of how I like it. I'm a pretty shy guy, so it's been awesome. You guys rock. You all made that possible. So 500 and 3,000 watch hours. Well, I'm almost there then. I need 500 more watch hours. So I'll update my all videos, and what you guys can do if you want to help out is when you're sleeping, throw on that all video to play, and maybe that will get it there. Yeah, Vernon, you just hit it too. I know you just skyrocketed in yours as well. I'm not sure what your watch hours are like, but I know with your live streams, that's really got to help. So I've noticed I'm kind of slow to everything, but I guess I've noticed you're streaming along with other live streams. I've noticed you in a lot of different ones. That's really neat. I didn't know you were going live, Matt. I did. I posted actually right when your stream came on, is I think right after that is when I post my little thing, because you helped remind me. So what I'm going to be doing is making a more generic thumbnail for my streams that I can just change the date or something and put those in a file that I can upload. I know that's one of my big problems to attracting people to my lives. I definitely pick up a lot more when I post that early. So when I do I'm still going to do a 1K show, even though they're changing it and all that, because I think it's neat. Maybe I'll put a 1.1 or wherever I'm at when that takes place in about a month. Again, I want to do it in conjunction with us really launching our site. We're going to be selling initially grafted teas and probably a small batch of Farmer Casey's Garden teas because those come from our homestead here. And then I want to sell some dried yarrow heads and things like that as well. But we'll be doing a whole lot of giveaways. You have 1.3 watch hours. Okay, Verna, so I'm going to go and I'm going to play your videos on repeat in the background here. We're going to get you there. Hey, Short Pickings Quail, you made it. Good to see you. Hello. You may have been in here before. I'm not sure. I don't believe I've seen you, but it is good to see you. Welcome. We're just kind of having a free stream tonight. I don't have a whole lot planned. And so normally with these streams, when I do have it planned, I like to break it up into segments. I'll do a little garden chat segment. I like to do my living insurance or my prepper type segment, preparedness segment. And hey, Yud, good to see. Is it Yud or Yud? I know I say it. I think Verna was saying Yud, and I believe you told me that before. You've seen that name here before. Okay. Well, hello, everyone. Good to see you. So anyways, and then I like to do my garden chat segment. I like to do my living insurance or my preparedness segment. And then I do my quail chat or quail shack chat, my urban farm animal area, kind of to cover different areas of what's going on. These last two, yeah, okay, yes, fine. Cool. These last couple weeks, though, I haven't really had my stuff together, to be honest, and so we haven't segmented it. And this week, we're kind of doing the same. So this is going to be all lumped into one. So I'm going to play a short little video, which is going to cover some of the garden stuff we've been doing. We're going to hop into that same video into preparedness. And I guess it's not with the animals, but we'll get to that. Anywho, let me go ahead and play this little video. So enjoy. Nikki James. Okay, cool. Well, good to see you. Welcome. Short Pickings Quail, so you must have a channel, it looks like. I think most people, when I notice the thumbnail, they probably have a channel. So if so, we will check that out. Okay, I'm going to play this little video. I'm going to be putting this either to, my goal is by tonight, more realistically by the end of the week, I want to get my video out. So one thing we have done here, kind of with everything on the urban homestead, we're a homestead in training. So things aren't really to scale, but we are learning. So I had an 8-foot by 8-foot plot that we grew corn in, harvested that, and then last November I planted hard red winter wheat berries from one of our 5-gallon Mylar sealed wheat berry barrels. And so I pulled a handful of that out, spread it in that plot after the corn, and let it grow throughout the winter. And in the end of May, we actually harvested our wheat. And so I'm going to be putting that whole video together. And we got straw from it and some other things. Hey, Spice. Oh, okay, cool. So anyways, enjoy this little video. Here I'm gathering the straw. And I'll have the full video later. Sorry, babe, for your pillowcase. So either on a windy day or with a fan, and I'm just going to take a good bunch of this here. And the wheat berries are heavier than the casings there, and so the casings will blow away and the wheat berries will fall. So we just will pour this, and the better I pour, the more we'll get. And it's not very windy. It might be easier with the fan, but when we get some gusts, you can see basically there. This will make a mess. Make sure you do this outside. I don't know if you can hear those wheat berries. Takes a minute, sorry. And there's some bigger straw and some green berries in here that I'm going to pull out. I'm getting covered. That's okay for the sake of the video. So we'll pull a lot of this out. But as you can see there, starting to condense the wheat berries down. And so we'll just do that some more. Hopefully we don't lose too many berries doing this. For the seed. And so the idea here is the wheat berries, or the wheat seed, is heavier, so that falls down, and the casings or the shaft is lighter, and so that will blow away either in the wind, the breeze, or with a fan on you. And the wind here is kind of gusty, but can't really seem to make up its mind today. So I may end up finishing this off with a fan. Took all the straw from this and made sure it was dried real well, which it was, and cut it up and used that for some mulch in the garden. A lot of times the straw you buy in the store has been sprayed with stuff, so it's always good to do your own, if you can. And this was just off that 8-foot by 8-foot wheat plot. You know, after not too long, you end up with pretty much just the wheat berries. So I'll clean this out a little bit more, and I'll finish doing our sack here, and hopefully we get a good amount to grind up for a little bit of flour, or at least to replant, as we are learning here. So that's wheat berries. That was about it. There we go. So you get the idea. I kind of hastily edited that and threw it together. I'm going to have the full video coming out soon here, hopefully. And I want to show me taking those wheat berries out of the storage, throwing them in, planting them, it growing. I have cutting it down and, of course, thrashing it and getting the berries out. Now, what we did was an 8x8 plot. It wasn't a huge one. Of course, if you're doing a lot of wheat, my method probably isn't going to scale too well. I would probably need some other method to do it. But it worked great for us. Now, as far as how much we got, I got this much. And this is probably about 1/10 of what I could get. Now, with learning how to do it, I lost a good amount of wheat berries under my porch. For a feast we had, we actually cut down 1/10 of our wheat, so 1/10 was gone. Our chickens got in there and mowed down probably a good 2/10 of it. And then I also, when I planted it, I spaced it out like the corn, and I could have grown it at least 2 or 3 times as dense in there. So I'm guessing with what I've learned and what that 8x8 plot, I most certainly could have filled this bag up with wheat berries. If you're not familiar with what wheat berries are, so this is, I can grind these up to make wheat flour. I could plant them like this. They store really well. I've talked about wheat berries before. These are awesome. So this I can either save and replant, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to do that with some more of my stored berries. or what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to grind this up into a flour. Our grapes are doing amazing. So when those are done, we're going to make grape jelly again. We practiced that last year. I have my peanut plants, which are doing well. So once those are done, I'm going to do peanuts. And then if you haven't guessed what I'm getting at, we're going to be producing a peanut butter and jelly sandwich completely from the Urban Homestead. Now, when I brought this idea up to my son, Farmer Casey there, he has been hounding me to want to eat these quails so bad lately. I haven't butchered them. And so he wants a quail sandwich. So we're going to be doing that soon. Now let me chat a little bit and get into Verna's question because I want to show. So Matt, if you know how to flip your eggs, yep, you can use the same motion to do the wheat. Oh, okay, yeah. So I've done a whole lot of line cooking and short order cooking and cafes and things. So I'm really good at doing the tossing. I thought about that. I was really nervous about losing the wheat berries, but they're actually heavier than you think. And if you get the technique right, I don't think I would have lost very many. So great. Yeah, great. Oh, and Verna, you had asked why I was cutting up the straw. And so let me just go ahead and screen share a little bit real quick, and we'll show this, this little short. So adding straw to the soil here definitely helps retain moisture. And this is the first year we're using our own straw, grown from wheat that we had planted and harvested. So hopefully that answers your question. So I wanted to use the straw for my own straw for mulch. So I believe it was about 2 years back. I was in a chat and talking with Nick over at Arizona Highland Homestead about mulch. He does a lot with soil and he knows a whole lot there. And one of our big problems here in the New Mexico desert is there's no moisture. And so the soil the air sucks all the moisture out of the soil, and the sun UV rays just completely destroy the nutrients there with the wind as well. And so I've been practicing with mulch. Straw is something that was a little difficult for me to get. I have a really small vehicle, and being able to get a bale of hay down here or straw down here was more difficult than I thought. The stuff I can buy a lot of times has been sprayed with chemicals and things, which I'm trying to avoid. So one of my goals with getting the wheat berries is also to cut up that straw and use that. So I use that for mulch. So we had some of our own straw mulch this year. Oh, okay. Yeah. I gave it to the chickens as well. They loved it. So it was cool to have that. Of course, we got our wheat berries. Yeah. And then now I took that area that we grew the wheat in, and I took all of our first large load of compost. We've had compost that I've had before, but this was the first really large area of compost I was able to move and fill that whole, excuse me. I was able to fill that whole 8 by 8 foot bed with our own compost. And that compost is the quail compost mostly, and plants. So it's really high in nitrogen. So we filled that. I planted squashes around the outside of it, and that will cover the ground and help with that moisture in there. And then I planted corn in patches throughout there. And once that gets up about so high, I'm going to be planting pole beans around it. And so we are going to be doing the three sister method there. As with everything I've learned in that 8 foot by 8 foot thing, I can do a good amount of corn, but I'm also not going to get a ton. So again, we're learning, we're developing skills, and so we're practicing the three sister method over there this year. Once that is done, we'll cut it down and do red winter wheat again for round 2. Yep, three sisters. That's what we're doing there. I'm going to be doing a 8 foot by 16 foot bed down next to the greenhouse. You may have seen it a little bit in that dry herb clip I did. It was in the background. I've been framing that out from our old trampoline that got bent. So we're going to be putting a 14 foot by 10 foot greenhouse there. And then right next to that will be an 8 foot by 16 foot plot that we're going to do corn in as well. And corn and then wheat, if I can get it done fast enough. If not, it's going to be a huge bed of garlic and onion for winter crops. Speaking of, the weather's been insane here. It's our growing seasons, I feel, are off. Later frosts and hails and things I've been trying to avoid. I know that's everywhere. So this year, our plants have been a little behind. I really hate those this time last year apps because sometimes I'm like, I don't want to remember how much I was harvesting last year. Our stuff will get there. But I went on a rabbit trail and I lost my train of thought. You know, so yeah, so I have aromath too, actually, instead of corn. So we have a little bit of aromath. I was considering doing that plot in 8-foot, cut it in half and do 8-foot by 8-foot of aromath and 8-foot by 8-foot of sorghum. I was also considering millet maybe, or a couple other things. I want to be, one of our goals is some self-sufficiency, some sustainability. And so that is the whole reason I got the chickens, is for sustainability, for eggs. I don't have a chicken rooster. And if you've heard this story a million times, I'm sorry, but because I don't have that chicken rooster, I got the quail, which I absolutely love. I think they're an easier animal to have for an urban homestead, and I can have their roosters. And so there's some sustainability there. Then I start thinking a little bit more, well, what do I need for the sustainability for that? Well, their food, and I have to go out and buy that. So I'm obviously not sustainable with that. Now, I'm not going to be able to scale enough to grow all their food here on the land I'm at. But what I can do is learn what foods they need and ratios and what works. That way, when it comes time to scale up. And so I've been doing some research. And a good goal of mine is to grow a lot of those seeds and things to feed the quail and chickens. Aromath is hard to control. It is. It will go everywhere. That is for sure. I don't remember what I was talking about. And then I guess this would be a good time. I think this is what gets me copyrighted, but I'm not going to be on too much longer here. I am having some intestinal issues. But anyways, let me play our commercial here.
Hi, I'm Farmer Casey, and I'd like to share with you my natural growing garden tea grown on our Southwest Homestead. Enjoy!
The seeds are, the seeds are good for 20% of quail feed, but if heat treated, you can use it for 50% of their feed. I'm going to have to look into that a little bit more. So I have the mealworms too, of course, that I want to supplement for protein, and then calcium, the lentils and rice. Well, I guess I can kind of tell you. So my goal was a little bit of ground corn, the millet, and some aromath and other seeds. I wanted to do the lentil, rice, and mealworms, and do that in the right ratio. I hadn't really heard about the heat treating. I'm not sure what that is. I'd have to look into that. Full of good info there, Vernon. All right, let's see. So that was pretty much all the little videos I had. We have a lot going on. We got Keith back. Farmer Casey's got some big things coming up that we're not going to talk about here yet. We have some southern New Mexico trips coming up that we're going to be hopefully showing the footage from that. Let's see what. And so a bunch coming down the line. Yeah, that's when I had started it too, was when that bad feed was going around. Now our chickens, they're on a feed too, but they eat a whole lot more of our scraps of stuff from compost and insects and things like that. That's their primary diet. One of the things I like about the chickens, I guess, is, so in your stream today, you're talking about how quail are much cleaner than chickens and they're pretty dirty. And that is true. I would agree with that because chickens eat anything. They'll catch a lizard and eat it. Quail will as well, but they're being maintained in that cage. And they're, very controlled there. At least the chickens will eat whatever. And so I can give them the scraps. They're easy to feed and keep as long as you give them water and shelter. they're a lot like a cat. They kind of take themselves to bed and take care of themselves, and they'll develop their own pecking order. So they're really easy to do. The quail, though, I think are a lot cleaner. You can control it a lot better. They are one of the and I know you know this, Verna, but one of the fastest egg to table animals out there. So you can go about 8 weeks or to reproducing. So they're really an amazing animal. I know there's a huge push, or people are interested. So when I was at the bank, setting up my bank account, which is for our business, for Grafted Branch LLC, which is one of the things that's been holding us up. But I had mentioned that I'm going to be selling quail supplies through the website as well. Right now, I sell my quail supplies through Desert Dry on Etsy, but we're going to be moving that over to our website, and I'm going to be selling the quail scissors and feeders and other supplies there. But I had mentioned selling quail supplies, and he jumped at quail. And I had mentioned chickens too, and he said, "Oh man, I would love to get land outside in the city next to us here, the edge of the city, but he can't, and he's in the suburb." And he said, "But quail," and I said, "I said that's what we do. We're an urban homestead, and yeah, quail." And I was trying to tell him you can grow it by the square foot, really, in a small area, and definitely something to look into. So, oh, what was this? The air math? Yeah, and then beat the bag as well. I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen them go after, lizards and mice. No snakes right where we're at, but even the neighbor's cat, I know, would kill the chickens, but those chickens are bold, and especially Betty. She's our broody chicken. So if you watch some of my videos, I've been trying to get her from being broody and kick her out. We've also been integrating our flocks, which is going okay. Nikki's still rejected. Betty is still broody. She keeps seeing the eggs, and with the 4 younger chickens now just starting laying, she sees those eggs and runs in there and gets broody all over again. We don't want that. We want her egg laying. I will do. And so, the banker, yes. Actually, I have to go see him because I'm having issues anyways with that. That's part of some of the holdup on getting some of my supplies. I wanted to give him one of my business cards, but I'll mention Quail University too. That's most certainly something. I'll just send him. Now, Verna, I think you get a little something from that if they go through you, is it? Or just mention you? There's someone else I'm trying to get him, this guy I work with, into doing quail too. But anyways, I was talking about Betty. So I don't want her broody anymore. We've tried everything, kicking her out and moving her out. So I've gone to, now I have 2 small dog crates basically in the chicken area. My chicken run is all enclosed, but they're in there. And so Betty's been in there, and she's going to spend 3 days in there with feed and water. The other chickens can see her, so she's not taken away from the flock, but she can't get into the nesting boxes. In the day, I let the chickens out through the compost and to roam around parts of the yard. And at that time, I let Betty out with them. Betty's my biggest, oldest chicken. She's an Orpington buff. She is a big girl. And I'm pretty sure she would take on one of those cats. She tries to fight me. She tries to fight the dog. She's got some claws. If you use your link. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll probably just print out. I'm going to get his email. That's what I'm going to do. And I'll send him your link for both people I'm talking to about it. There's a lot more people interested in it, definitely. So most of my eggs I actually sell to a Middle Eastern couple that doesn't eat chicken eggs as well for health reasons. I think they have allergies. But I've noticed a lot of people in the rest of the world eat quail eggs and quail a lot more than Americans do, although it's catching on. So in those communities, it's a little easier to sell them. Of course, with doing the quail breeding program, there's also a couple New Mexico's kind of big on how I always butcher the name, but people that own falcons and people that own hawks and birds of prey and stuff like that. There's some really big groups here, and so they're always looking for quail. And pretty much have told me they want them when I can provide them. I just have so much going on. Balutes, ooh, Verna, okay. I guess I'm kind of squeamish still. I still get squeamish with calling, although I have to do it. I don't like it. I don't know about balutes. I got to work my way up to that. I've watched your video. I know that a lot of people in the Asian community like the balutes and things. Well, I guess Middle Eastern too, I've heard. But yeah, so I can sell them. They kind of creep me out. Well, I still have to do Quail University myself. Yeah, for my customer. Yeah, you're right. There's a little bit more of a market. We need to get our name out there more. So right now, I guess it's more of a hobby, but of course, we're trying to push it towards business. I'm caught in this area, which I'm sure a lot of people are, where I'm working a lot on my normal job and then I'm sure a lot of people have been here, trying to start the business too. So I need the time to devote to the business and the homestead, but I need the job too to support that until it gets going. So that's the transition I'm at right now. But hopefully we'll get moving along. So, and then of course I, want to do seeds and sell and give those away. I started off YouTube wanting to do. So I watched some pinball preparedness, and he had done a seed thing where they would send down around a seed box and people could take and give. So it's something I kind of wanted to do with that. All right, yeah, they'll fight. So, Sure Pickens, do you have do you have a homestead? Do you do it in an urban area, or if you don't mind sharing, how do you do your chickens and quail? Are they free range or not? So here we have our chicken house, we have our quail shack that I built, and then each of them have runs behind them. That are all enclosed with chicken wire now that I'm in the process of changing over to hardware cloth as I'm learning. But it's completely enclosed. And I started that when all the flu stuff was going around and all that. And so I enclosed everything and then I just let them out. But they still have some land out. Yes, you are... Hey, Phil, you have a good evening. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate you so much, as always. And so get some rest. Have a good one. We'll see you later. Oh, you're going to be at QuailCon too. Okay, cool. Neat. All right. That's cool. I'm really excited to... one of the things I want to do is one of my main goals with that is I want to talk to people and network and really find out how other people do it. I can watch a lot of videos, but it's neat seeing how people do their quail, how people do their chickens, in with what they're given in the land they're on. And I'm actually not going to be on too much longer here anyways. I have some problems. Like I'm always going hoarse on these streams. So I gotta, hopefully my sound's a little bit better. I was having some issues on our morning stream with Farmer Casey. So tomorrow we're planning on doing our garden chat. And we'll kind of do our Father's Day one a little bit. I feel it fitting being that it's me and my son doing our chat. And kind of what I wanted to do is go through the garden and let him pick some herbs for his teas. We like doing that. I'm going to do one of my specialties, I think, one of our grafted teas, one of my favorite ones, and that's our Yeehaw blend. And so that's going to be coming out. Hey, S.O. Swanson, good to see you. You're catching the end of the stream, but I appreciate you showing up. Hope you're having a good evening. Honey garlic. That's funny you say that, Verna, because I was thinking about what I wanted to do on the stream tonight, and I was like, well, I could make honey garlic again. And let me show y'all. You're absolutely right, though, Verna. I need to be boosting my immune system up right now. I have a feeling. So, part of my preparedness thing I wanted to talk about a little bit was having your immune system not just boosted, but everyone I think should be aware with everything going on. There's a lot of stress and stuff. So, think about your immune system, what you're taking, what herbs and remedies and different things you're taking to keep it up and keep it good. One of the things I'd want to mention that I just remembered though with the living preparedness is I like to keep a small little basket or little area in my either pantry or preparedness area. And so if you're having a problem or there's an issue, emergency, or you're on high alert, if you will, a lot of people are dehydrated naturally. They just don't drink enough water and stuff. And so one of the first things you may want to do or consider in an emergency situation is immediately hydrating yourself. And I know there's also good tips that people say slam a couple water bottles immediately because you don't necessarily know how long that's going to need to take you. You need to have water in your system so you're not running dehydrated. So I like to keep some water up front and handy. This stuff is amazing too. Liquid IV. Keep a little bit of this. You can take something. Back to the garlic. So we had 2 good garlic beds this year that we harvested. I got about 30 heads of garlic that we're going to use for cooking. And then in one of my smaller beds, it didn't get a lot of sun. And we got a lot of beautiful heads, but they're smaller. And so these heads actually are the ones I'm going to break all up and kind of smash and put in with our honey and make some more honey garlic. So I have a whole bunch of it here. And so I want to make a couple batches of honey garlic. Now, when you do that, you want to use the raw, unpasteurized honey for it to work. And so there's actually a bee farm up in the mountain here close to us. And so I was wanting to go up there and they sell honey up there. And so I wanted to get some local honey and try that. So that I decided not to do it tonight. But that's something I do need to do. So you are right. You're technically in town, but you're barely on the edge. Yeah, so are we. So your chickens do free range during the day. Okay. Chickens, turkeys, and lots of quail. How cool. So we are still very urban, but we're on the edge of town too. We sit in the Southwest desert on top of a mesa. If you're unfamiliar what a mesa is, it's a huge plateau of sand. And so we sit on top of that above the Rio Grande River, kind of looking down on the Rio Grande, not too far off from here. And then the rest of it is just miles and miles and miles of desert, of absolutely nothing but sand and tumbleweeds. And so that's what we got here. But we were kind of on the edge of that as well. Yeah, electrolytes too, Verna's saying. So the liquid IV, this one here is your electrolyte mix. You can get different kinds. They have different versions. But thanks for saying that, because I did pick the electrolyte one in particular. And so these you can take. One stick is about, it looks like it's equal to 3 cups of water or something like that. 1 cup is equal to 3. Anywho, slam a water bottle, slam some electrolytes, make sure your mind and your body are ready to go, just so you have any, the best preparedness or setup for anything you may encounter. Local honey's the best. It helps with allergies. Yeah, that's why I want to go for it. You're right, Verna. Because the bees get the honey from the local flowers, the local pollen and things. That's going to help with yours. Now, I don't have an allergy issue. My family does. They have pretty bad allergies. I'll get them from time to time, but things don't really bother me. I always contribute it to me rolling around in the dirt and stuff all the time, but I don't know. Yeah, in the beginning, certainly in the beginning, homesteading, large garden. I think the very first thing we did was the peach tree. I threw a peach pit. I ate the peach and threw the pit in the ground, and it grew a tree. And then we got a grapevine, which we still have muscadine grapes. And it's just progressed from we did the large garden, then it went to the chickens, and then the quail. I would like to do tilapia and goats and bees and other things, but for various reasons, we're at the edge of being maxed out on the urban homestead. So we want to get land quickly. We look all the time and every day. We have a couple issues. Some I won't go into, but there's more issues than financial. Most people are like, well, you just need to jump or, things like that. So we do have some financial issues, but there's some other things we're looking at too. So it's all in God's timing, but we will get that land. For now, what we're doing is being good stewards of what we have. We're very thankful for what we have and developing skills. I'm learning that from business standpoint, we can't grow enough vegetables to really sell here. We can grow enough for our family to help supplement. But when it comes to herbs, teas, tinctures, and things like that, that's where I can really maximize our space. And of course with quail too, because you can have a lot of quail in a small area. You're in Missouri. All right, neat. Most of our garden plants come from seeds from Missouri, from Papa Pepper. It's a huge, a lot of our pepper plants, our snake gourd plants, a lot of our plants, seeds come from Papa Pepper, and I think he's in Missouri or in that area down there. So that's neat. I learned your guys' climate and ours you're a lot wetter there, and there's a lot more water. We're a lot drier, but the same plants kind of, I think we're in the same grow zones or close to it. Now here we don't get hardly any rain. If we have two big downfalls on the urban homestead. One is security, because we are very urban, and if there was an issue, that would be number one problem. Number 1/2 problem is we are reliant on city water. Now I've set up a lot of rain catchment. It just doesn't rain enough here for us to be a reasonable solution. Possibly if we put in a huge cistern or something, but that's not feasible where we're at. So water's a problem. I've looked into dehumidifiers and extracting water, and really scaling that's hard. Some of the things in the desert, you can catch morning dew, but with where we're at on the mesa here, our humidity level is darn near zero almost all the time, so that's not an option either. So with looking at land, we need something with a well or some water. That's always going to be an issue with desert homesteading unless we're out of state. So I've tried that, Verna. There are a couple plants. So I have a list of plants that I have tried, and for the life of me, I cannot get to work. So on that list is my loofah gourds, my, I always call them cukes. They're my little cucumber watermelon things. I can't get those to grow for the life of me. I can't get what else is it? Elderberry's on that list now. I can't keep that thing alive. It's alive, but it's struggling. So I have a list of some things. There's no humidity. That's got to be what it is. That's why my voice is like this too. The air sucks the any moisture out of the soil, and then we kind of have a lot of wind here too, and it just blows all that away. So we're on the mesa. I do tell my wife all the time, if it wasn't for the modern civilization we live in, where we're at would not exist. We would not be able to grow stuff. We'd have to either be closer to the river or somewhere else. So we're learning where we're at. I do store a lot of water and stuff, but still. Okay. Yeah. Mine, so I got a lot of sticks from Lead Farmer 73, I believe it is. Got a bunch of them and grew them. I had a couple took off. It's always humid there. Yeah. Well, I struggled doing that. We got some of them to grow. I finally got one to go, and now the heat and humidity is just kind of killing it. So yeah, it's definitely a lack of humidity. Here it's the dryness and then the UV rays too. The New Mexico sun, I don't know if it feels like the UV rays just absolutely beat things down. It will rip apart any plastic, any bin. If I leave 5-gallon buckets outside throughout the summer, by fall, they're just deteriorating and disintegrating pretty much. It's also why all my quail shack and chicken coop The roof is the last thing to go on because it really doesn't rain too much. They're all made out of wood that I just use boiled linseed oil to keep it moist a little bit. I don't have to worry about anything rotting really or anything like that because there's just no moisture. Might not see much growth until the second year. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see. The goji berries I didn't think were going to do well. Oh, I remember when I lost my train of thought earlier. Okay, so yeah, the goji berries I didn't think were going to do well, but they're doing great. What I was talking about was the weather and how weird it's been in growing seasons. So here it's really hot, and the plants that you think would love that sun and hot weather and stuff have been struggling a little bit this year. Normally do great. I have never been able to grow cabbage here in the desert. Our cool time, it goes from cold, freezing below, freezing temperatures to really hot, really quick. We just don't have a lot of that transition. So growing cabbages and those things are a struggle. This year, I have an 8-foot by 2.5-foot bed of cabbage that is the most beautiful heads, no bugs or holes in them at all. It's midway through June in New Mexico, where it's over 90 in the day and getting up there, and I have cabbage growing wonderfully. How weird is that? That's all I gotta say. How weird is that? Yeah, it does, and that's why I can't ever grow cabbage. But tomorrow, if you join me for my garden chat, it's going to be at 8:30 in the morning Mountain Time. I'll show that cabbage bed. It is beautiful. That is kind of our jewel of our garden right now. We're in the mesa. We sit at a mile up in the mesa in New Mexico with no humidity and really hot temperatures. And the best thing in my garden right now, mid-June, is cabbage. Go figure. Yeah, it blows me away. It really does. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, Brenda. So right now it is 9:22, so almost 9:30 here. I've actually been on almost an hour. I planned on hopping off early because my stomach's kind of messed up. But I'm going to go ahead and hop off. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. We'll play my little like and subscribe. For everyone that would like to join, tomorrow we're going to be on for our little Father's Day garden chat with Matt and Garden Tea with Farmer Casey at 8:30 a.m. Mountain Time. So if you're Verna there, or I think Missouri as well, I believe you guys are all 2 hours ahead of me, so that should be 10:30 your time. But join us. We're going to show some garden and have some tea and all. 10:30 your time in the morning. Is it? Did I answer your question right? 8:30 in the morning our time, Mountain Time. 10:30 for Verna. Okay, 9:30 for Central. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You guys are so helpful. Well, thank you, Verna, for being here and moderating. Thank you, everyone that showed up. Let's see, we had Nikki, we had S.O. Swanson, Phil was here earlier, Spice of Life. Who else? I don't want to miss anyone. Yud, I don't know if you're still here. Tigris Valley. And for anyone else that has been in here, anyone that watches later and enjoys them, Steve is great. Yeah. Thank you, Steve, there. And for anyone that watches later, appreciate it very much. Thank you guys for everyone who subscribed and liked and subscribed and got us to 1,000 subscribers. I'm ecstatic. I know my family is as well. So you guys rock. We will be doing a 1,000 subscriber thing there. And so how many days until QuailCon? September 2nd. How many days is it until September 2nd? 77 days. All right, cool. Awesome. Yep. So you guys stay strong. Rabbit trunk. Stay strong. Do the things. Go at everything with purpose. Thank you guys for being here and for making it all possible. Appreciate you all very much.
Remember to hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
Cooey.
The party pooper.